Good morning. It's nice to see so many of you out there this bright early time. Welcome to the general membership meeting. I am Tracy Dudding Kane, current president of the SAIA, and the executive committee will introduce themselves, starting with Mr. Palladino.
Hello. Mike Palladino, past president. Good try.
Good morning, Jay Gordon, Secretary.
Good morning, Deanna Martin, Executive Director.
Good morning, Mike Bradel, President-elect.
Good morning, Frank Freach, Vice President and Treasurer for Matt Morgan today.
Good morning, I'm Tom Brewer, I'm a board appointee.
Chris Moody, board appointee.
Thank you. Then first on our list is the treasurer's update.
What up, quick?
We have Board of Elections.
Oh, we had board elections?
Yeah.
That's you, right?
So just an update, the even regions are currently still out for vote. So if you're in an even region, that ballot closes November 17th, and the new Board of Directors will be appointed as of December 1st.
And Amy Johnson. Thank you, Amy. Next is the treasurer's report.
It's me now?
Yep, you know.
No, okay. Morning. Surprised I'm here. Financials until to date, we are within the budget. We are currently on $867,000 in cash and have 1.2 million in reserves. We're going to move another 200,000 into the reserves by the end of this year. We did not have to touch anything on the reserve side. For the financials next year, we have a budget for 2024 of 2.59 million in revenue and 2.68 million in expenses. So we budgeted for a negative of $75,000, but we do have $200,000 for content upgrades and content development. And we decided to use some of the money to create different programs here. And for that is my exclusive report today. Anybody, any questions? That would be now or right afterwards.
Thank you, Frank. Next is Deanna Martin with the headquarters updates.
All right, I'm going to discuss ANSI. So A11 met this week. We did approve 3 subcommittee members. There's currently work being done on A11.1, and then at committee week, we'll work on the suspended side for testing and rating. A92 is meeting in November in Kansas City, and Tracy and I are still very active on A10, and we're currently members on A14. Oh, and then future meetings. So next year we are going to be in Charleston for committee week. We're going to be in Denver for convention. And then in 2025, we'll be in Fort Worth in August. And then in 26, we'll be in Nashville in July. And then we're working on committee weeks for 25 and 26 right now.
Thank you, Deanna. Christina Reed, membership.
Can you turn it on? Oh, hey, thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, so for 2023, we had a 95% membership retention rate. As of today, we officially have 50 new members this year. We had over 160 first-time attendees at this meeting. We had 11 new exhibiting companies and 18 of those 50 new member companies in attendance. Let's see what else. Oh, also, membership dues went out October 1st and are due December 31st. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Jackie Davis for education and training.
Good morning, everybody. To piggyback off of Christina, the ATI dues also went out. We did bill 111 ATIs this year, which is an increase of I'll say we billed 98 last year. So we had a little bit of an increase this year, which is great news. We're showing growth. We've been adding new ATI instructors. And along with that, we've also been working on new content to bring out in 2024. We are working very diligently on the new suspended program. And we are also getting close to having a first draft of an apprentice program that will complement our Journey Person program that we've already had in use here in Canada for quite some time. And a lot of the other stuff that we're working on, Sean's going to cover in his update, so I'll save some of the goodies for him.
Thank you, Jackie. Next is Alliance updates, and we'll start with the president of the Education Foundation, Chris Moody.
Can everybody hear me? I'm fairly loud. Oh, okay. Just real quick rundown. We have $104,000 cash on hand. We have operating expenses and committed money of $60,583, which means we have $44,121 available for grants. If anybody has any grant requests, you can go to our website and the form is there. And we also have 2 open spots on the EF. If anybody's interested, please talk with myself, Tom, Amy, or Mr. Giddish, and be happy to discuss with you.
Thank you, Chris. The OSHA Alliance, in place of Kevin O'Shea, Jackie Davis will give the update.
Okay, I wasn't really prepared for that. Okay, so for OSHA, we've been going to the roundtable. Tony Grote and Deanna and I have also been working on some resources, but I won't divulge too much of that. I'm sure he's going to talk about those tip sheets. But yeah, our alliance is strong. Whenever we go to those roundtables, we always make new connections with other organizations in the industry. From that, we did do that Career Safe online training program that we started utilizing some of those trainings. They were rolled out this year. We have sold several of those, so that's a great connection that we've made through that OSHA Alliance, and we just continue to go to those meetings and participate and make new connections. That's it.
Thank you, Jackie. SIAC, Ontario, and Canadian Council updates with Rick McKinley.
Knock, knock. Oh, here we are. Okay. Good morning. Well, first of all, welcome to Canada. Welcome to Vancouver. Is everybody having a good time here so far? Yeah. Yeah. It is, you know, no offense to any other Canadian cities, but without a doubt, it is the most beautiful one, right? In the updates here, Tracy had said that I can't take more than a half hour, so I'm going to try to move through this a little quickly. We'll start with the SIAC Ontario chapter update. We've had an absolutely awesome, amazing year. Sponsorship packages. We're now running in our 2nd year of corporate sponsorship. We're happy to announce that we have sold almost all of the packages out entirely for the 2023-2024 membership year. So very happy about that. Big thank yous go out to all of our sponsors for their continued support of the association. One of the major projects that we undertook this year was to review and update our codes of safe practice. We had set ourselves a target of having those documents available and published in time for convention this week. Happy to say that we met that deadline. We have hard copies available at the booth in the exhibit hall of the codes of safe practice for mobile elevating work platforms, mast climbing work platforms, supported scaffolding, and suspended access. The big news this week for our association is a complete rebranding. We, as of Tuesday, during the Board of Directors meeting, we unveiled our new identity as the Access Association of Canada. We have brought with us a brand new logo, a whole new look. Also during that meeting, we threw the switch on a brand new website. We can be found at accessassociation.ca. So we're very, very excited about the new changes, and we look forward to growing our association more by including all forms of scaffold and access, not just scaffolding. So yeah, we're very, very excited about that. As far as the Canadian Council, we've had a busy year as well. We've been meeting, actually, I'll get there in a moment. First thing that we did, you may have noticed the July-August issue of the Scaffold and Access magazine featured an interview between myself, Christopher Jones, who's our Canadian Council co-chair, and Riley Sampson from Scaffold and Access magazine. It was a pretty cool article. We talked about the gaps analysis project that we've been working on and kind of gave an idea of the breadth of that project and what it means to the Canadian access and construction industry. Also excited to say that the Canadian Council was the subject of the SIA, I still can't say it, the SAIA's first released podcast. The podcast includes excerpts from the same interview from the magazine article. We were able to pare it down from the original 50-minute article to about, a more listenable 7-minute period. So I think I've said before, we just filtered out most of the swear words, and that took about 40 minutes of the content out. And finally, our gaps analysis project. The council has been meeting virtually monthly over the last year. We've made a lot of progress. We'd set a very lofty target of having the first draft of the working tool prepared and completed in time for convention. Again, as of about last Wednesday or Thursday, we're happy to say that we met that milestone. From here, there's still some tweaks and editing and whatnot before we can go to final publication, but it's pretty exciting. We've compared right now the legislation in the eight most populous provinces in the country for each of the different types of scaffold and access equipment. So if you're working with shoring, you'll be able to see the various criteria under shoring and scroll across and see for each province how the requirements are similar, or more importantly, how they differ. But it provides a good at-a-glance tool that way. Second phase of the project, once we catch our breath a little bit, we're looking to bring in some of the industry standards as well, to bring in some of the CSA standards and whatnot, so that it's a complete, comprehensive, this is everything you need to know to operate in the Canadian market type of tool. So, thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Next, we'll have the IPAF update from Jay Gordon.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. The IPAF Alliance is intact and very strong. However, there was no training carried out throughout the year with the mass climbers or with the MUPs. The online content component has been developed and it's been added to the SAIA store. So there haven't been any current sales, but the content is in place, and optimistically with Tony joining the MUPS Council as chair, we are very optimistic that he's going to help to drive some change in that area, and we'll start to be able to push some training through. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Next, we're going to go to council and committee updates, and we will start with Sean McDonald, Accredited Training Institute Committee.
Now we dance it awake. There we go. Good morning, everybody. To build a little on what Jackie had mentioned, the suspended course, the book is complete. We're currently working on the PowerPoint. It is well into development. It's a very small team. They're making it move very, very rapidly. That will then go through R&R, and hopefully we'll be looking at introducing that very soon. Let's see, what else did we have in there? Suspended hazard awareness is the next thing to be updated, and of course, we've got some other programs. One thing on the ATI front I did want to mention as an aside, next week I'm hosting 23 OSHA compliance officers for a 3-day frame, system, and suspended scaffold competent person training class. I've done this before. The SAI is very supportive. If you have the opportunity to do something like this, I highly recommend that you take that opportunity. it completely changes your relationship with your local OSHA. I was talking with Rick McKinley yesterday, and he completely concurred, even on this side of the border, having OSHA on speed dial and vice versa changes the game completely. So something you should look into. And as I said, SAI is fully supportive when you put on an event like this. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Next is Ambassador Committee, Stephanie Bayard.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be quick. Just want to say that the reception this week went very well. Every new member, I had so many questions this week during the convention, so it was good. And we should say congratulations to Christina, because she's done an amazing job. We have 50 new members this year, and the year's not done. So great job.
Thank you, Stephanie. Next is Construction Hoist Council, Eric Schmidt.
The Construction Hoist Council, our members are currently working on the updated revision to ANSI 810.4 standard for the construction hoists in the U.S. market. So a lot of our resources are tied up in that process. We are also working on a guidelines document for pre-construction, pre-planning for construction hoist installations. And so that's something that you will be seeing moving forward. Another project that has come up is reviewing all of the documents that are available on the council page of the SAIA website. So that's a process to go through, update, and have review as necessary. We are also looking at soliciting, trying to get members or interested parties to produce construction hoist articles that could be used perhaps in the SA magazine moving forward. Lindsay? So yesterday we had a presentation at 3:30 was the Gordie Howe Bridge, which of course also involved construction hoists. And this afternoon at 3:30, I highly encourage you to attend another session on construction hoists in the New York City market, which is completely different than what most of us run into. So I think you'll find it very, very exciting. As we move forward, we're also looking to membership here and interested parties to bring us projects for the council to work on. So please approach us. I'm the chair, Shannon's co-chair. Come and see us, give us some ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Next is Fall Protection Council, Becky Danielson.
If I could stand up this morning. Eric, you didn't do half of it for me, so
Sorry.
I was waiting for it. So if you haven't seen or heard about, we are starting a 4-part webinar series on fall protection equipment inspection. And the first one actually will encompass not only harness inspection, but it'll encompass proper fit of your PPE, which OSHA is looking at very deeply right now. So it's going to kind of envelop both of those. So I encourage everybody to come listen to me yak for half an hour. I don't know. I think we did it for an hour, I think, the first one. So there's 4 of them. We're breaking out the fall protection systems and then going through the inspection process with that. There'll be documents that tie in with the webinar, and Jackie's been amazing to take care of that for me and get it on our website. So we're going down the list after our committee week. Those of you that were not in our session at committee week, I made people work. So if everybody came up with what they wanted to see coming out of our committee, our council. And so we're kind of just working on, we picked the top 3, so we're working through those, and then we'll keep working through as the year progresses and time allows, and we all know how that goes, right? And I encourage anybody other councils that have fall protection within it. We've talked about this before, right? That fall protection kind of floats within all those. Don't hesitate to reach out. We're here as a resource. We're here to help. That's kind of been my my motto since I got here. I'm here to help. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Becky. Next is International Council. Sam Reese is not present. Jackie Davis will do the update.
Unfortunately, Sam couldn't be here. He did ask me to let you all know that he is looking for a co-chair, and he is also looking for some topics that, you might be interested in. I did have an interesting conversation with the folks here from New Zealand about zero emissions. So even if it's something like that and you have, an interest in that, or you think that that's something that the association should be talking about or researching on, let us know, and, we'll get Sam on it. Or if you're interested in getting involved in helping to lead those projects, let us know as well, and we'll get you on that council. And that's all.
Thank you, Jackie. Next is Mass Climbing Council.
You got it. Good morning.
Brad Kruger.
Brad, Kevin apologized that he could not be here, so he's here with us in spirit this morning. But just a quick update on, we're happy to announce that we've now brought to the finish line our next 2 mass climbing work platform tip sheets, one being the duty of care, which, spells out the responsibilities of owners and users to maintain mass climbers while in their care, custody, and control. Just general guidelines of how to maintain mass climbers, specifically spelled out for the owners of mass climbing work platform units. The other is job surveys. This is for the qualified person that is going to be surveying a job. Again, this tip sheet just provides guidelines for the qualified person into what they are looking for and what they are looking at when surveying a mass climbing work platform application. Simple guidelines specific to ground conditions, attachment to the structure, and general job site conditions. Again, these are just guidelines to assist that person in identifying some of the hazards associated with mass climbing work platform applications. So those are now available on the SAIA website. Currently, we are working on adding QR codes through the SAIA to be put on mass climbing work platform units to assist the user or operator in simply scanning the QR code. That will allow the user or operator to pull up a pre-use inspection, as well as all 5 of the tip sheets. Again, that will just make it nice and easy. We all know or realize that in most cases, although the tip sheets provide a lot of great information, a lot of the operators and users who are the ones that really need the tip sheets are not coming to the website and printing them out. QR codes are readily available on the units, or will be readily available on the units. They'll simply scan them, pull it up, be able to read the tip sheet, and safely go to work. So we're very excited about that. And the next endeavor that we are working on is as an industry standard, tags on the last 2 ties or the bottom 2 ties on mass climbers. These tags will serve as a reminder to the crew that's dismantling the mass climber to verify and check for stability on the mass climber, tie spacing, what's actually on the unit to make sure it's not overloaded. Unfortunately, a higher percentage of incidents within the mass climbing work platform world have been related to the pulling of the last 2 ties while the machine was either unstable, the ties were not spaced correctly, or there was too much load on the mass climber. So what Kevin and I are proposing as an industry standard is adding a tie tag on those lower 2 ties, again, to serve as a reminder. This is a project that we're currently working on. We are looking for volunteers. I won't volunteer you, Becky, but you were on time. So we are currently looking for volunteers. If you are interested in working on any of these 2 projects with Kevin or I, we would greatly appreciate it. You can certainly email myself or Kevin if you would like to volunteer. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Next is Mobile Elevated Work Platform Council, Tony Grote.
Good day, all. We have officially have a committee now, so we have a co-chair and 5 members. So we actually have a group who can physically do work now. We've had our first virtual meeting, and we have made determination of what some of the tasks that we're going to do over the next 12 months. One of the very specific tasks we're going to do is leading the update of industry best practice documents that were authored in 2010. Since then, the ANSI standards were republished in 2018 and actually are getting ready to come out again, which means that those documents are out of date. So these were industry best practice documents, meaning that we worked with IPATH, with ARA, with AEM, as associations that cover all of the major stakeholders for the industry, so that we end up putting a document out that is approved by the industry as a whole. We're going to take the lead on redrafting those. There's significant differences in those best practices from where they were in 2010. So there's a lot of work to doing that. So it'll be this subcommittee's job to actually do the drafting, and is our intention to call together a meeting at committee week next year where we will bring in the other associations to help us get the approval and review of those drafts. So it's a pretty overwhelming task to start from square one, as we now have to adopt the new standards that are coming out. So those of you who are in this in the MUP industry, the 892 standards for design, safe use, and training are really getting close to being reissued again within the next year. So we need to make sure that while we're doing the update for the 2018 revisions, we are keeping in mind that we don't want them to be out of date soon after we do the revision. So we're kind of holding off a little bit. And since I'm chairman of one of those, I'm on the other two committees, we'll have the most up-to-date information to incorporate with those. Additionally, as we stated, we are actively involved with the OSHA Alliance because we have tip sheets that are there. Those two were written in 2010. And as I said, since the standards have come out, there's been changes to those. So we have updated those, and we still have to have them be approved by OSHA, and sometimes there's some variations of language that's accepted by OSHA that is not the same language that we use within our standards. And examples, they call them aerial work platforms, AWPs. We now call them MEWPs, mobile elevated work platforms. We have terminology for qualified people, and they use the term competent people. So we need to make sure that the language that we are using in the tip sheet is in alliance or in alignment with language that can be accepted by OSHA. So while we are drafting these, we are having meetings with the OSHA representatives who are doing their internal reviews to make sure that they can approve our tip sheets. And then last but not least, we're going to define new tip sheets that we can present to them for other topics as well. We are writing industry articles that we can put out as the SAIA Council. As you know, I work for IPATH, so I do this all the time as it is right now. So when I author articles now, it's Tony Grote, IPATH North American Manager, and SAIA MUP Council Chair. So we're getting our names out together, and this is part of this ongoing alliance for us to work together. That's it.
Thank you, Tony. Next, we have the Permanent Installation Council, Brian Andrews.
Good morning, everybody. So this year, Lucas Oliver has stepped down as the co-chair. So if anybody would like to volunteer, I'm accepting anybody's resumes for a co-chair position for volunteering. I already have two, but if anybody else wants to say, yeah, me, please send them on over. Next, we finished up an article for educating everybody about outriggers, tie-down outriggers, portable outriggers for permanent equipment. The second article for the year is about 3/4 of the way done, so that should be done before end of this year. Finally, pretty much the Permanent Equipment Council has been helping with the suspended scaffold manual, as Sean had alluded for, and Harold will be, I'm sure. So we've been working on that, the manual itself and the PowerPoint. So that's about it.
Thank you, Brian. Next is Keith Iwasaki with Plank and Platform Council.
Good morning. Welcome to my hometown of sunny Vancouver. During committee week, I was recently appointed the chair for the Plank and Platform Council. And at that meeting, what we did is we did a quick review of the goals that were already set for the committee. The idea was to look at whether they were still current, relevant, and then weed out anything that wasn't, and try and focus on the primary goals. During the review, however, it was established that apparently all 7 goals are still relevant and all need the Council's attention. With that in mind, we started working on and reviewing and updating the 2013 version of the Laminated Scaffold Plank Handbook. That was completed earlier this year, and it's currently with R&R for their review and comment. Going forward, our next project will be to start reviewing the remaining scaffold plank purchasing guidelines. And at this point, if there is anybody else who's interested in joining up, help with that, that would be wonderful. Come talk to me or to Jackie or whomever. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Next is Program and Planning Committee, Paula Manning.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are enjoying your week. It is our committee's job, actually Jackie does most of the heavy lifting, to put on this program for you, find speakers, vet the speakers, and present to you a week that's worthy of your time. I think this week has been fantastic so far. I think the speakers and the presenters have been just all above board. I love it. Going forward, in the next couple of months as we begin to prepare for next year, we would like to have some feedback from you guys. If you're at a conference or if you're online or you're YouTubing it, Sean, and you see someone or something you think might be beneficial or enjoyed by our membership, shoot us a note, because really this is your convention and we want to give you what it is that you're looking for. So our phones are open, our doors are open. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Next is Steve Smith with Regulatory and Review Committee.
What a throw. You knocked me off my feet, Paula. Good morning, everybody. So first off, thanks to the council chairs, they've basically commented on most of what I was going to say because of the work that's been done by the councils and then by the review. So Brad, on the mass climbing work platforms, yeah, the review was done, as you said, of the couple of tip sheets. Sean, we've been working diligently together on the suspended training program. That's probably taken up the last about 9 months of both the review and the training program's time. A lot of effort being put into that. It's going to be a great program once that's released as soon as the PowerPoint's done. Also to Keith as well, yes, Review and Regulatory has received the update to the Scaffold Plank Handbook, so that's now on our agenda to look into that. Also going forward, we've got some rebranding that we're doing on the website. So a lot of the documents that are up on the website are just being taken a look at to make sure that they are consistent with the current philosophy and the current mission of the association. So those will be looked at over the next few weeks. As part of that rebranding, we're going to be redefining some of the documents. There's some confusion as to what documents are what, who they're particularly intended for, and things like what is the tip sheet, what is a safety document, what is a guideline. So we're going to redefine those documents, narrow it down to 3 or 4 that are relevant to the industry today, and then rebrand the various documents that are on the website into the same format. So trying to get a consistent format, consistent branding for all documents, for all the different sectors of the industry. Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Next is the Shoring Council, Mitch Meadows.
Good morning.
Or
I find
Frank
myself again, like committee week. Mitch can't seem to make it to class, although doing a fantastic job at our chair. We've been able to this year get together and submit it to R&R best practices, which I think is for our industry anyway, is pretty critical because of it takes us all the way to our end users, our guys in the fields, checklists and things to look at, and trying to get them to understand more what to look for and how to help the engineers do designing. So that we got a lot of good input on it. We got a lot of good pictures and designs, glossaries and indexes. It came together really well. So we've submitted that to R&R for review, and we've stepped into the next topic, which was or is engineering requirements. And now that's posing to be a little bit more of a challenge, getting into things that, let's just say some of us that swung a hammer a lot don't know or have not learned enough about, being safety factors and live loads, dead loads, things of that nature. So this, again, once it gets put together, and we're in the middle of editing it now. Again, I say it's supposed to be a little bit of a challenge getting the right information, and Mitch has done a phenomenal job of putting together both of these topics. He's put a lot of time and effort into it, so I can't take that away from him. I certainly can't take away the fact that he can't make it to class, but that's obviously comes with being a co-chair. So when you raise your hand, know that that's going to put you in a position to be completely unprepared and being handed the gavel to step in. But I think by the end of the year, we'll probably have that pretty close to being submitted as well. So it's coming together really well. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Next is SSFI committee. Frank?
The SSFI committee is working on the third-party verification program, which is meant to verify the manufacturer's testing procedures and testing reports by an engineer or third-party engineering company. We are currently working on a program for website submittal of these reports, and then a checkup by the engineering companies, and work out the procedures on that. That was it.
Thank you, Frank. Next is Wendy Larson for the Supported Scaffold Council.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wendy, and I am the chair of the Supported Scaffold Council. I have two co-chairs that I like to call up. Mike is part of the co-chair, and Dave is my other co-chair. These guys help out tons, so I'm calling them up so you guys know who they are and what they look like. My little Vanna White here. So our council continues to have monthly meetings, virtual meetings that anybody can attend and help and give their input. Through these meetings, we do it monthly. We haven't missed one yet that I know of. We have worked on 5 different documents, and credit to us for getting these documents done in this year. Sometimes you only meet twice a year, so you don't get as many documents done. But we have reviewed and completed the COSP for frames and system. We have done the frame bracing guidelines, the system bracing guidelines. We have reviewed the recommended procedures for visual inspection of system scaffolds and the recommended procedure for welded tubular frame scaffolds. Ongoing projects and ongoing work that we're working on is the COSP video format, which I'll just let Mike give a quick update.
Sure. Yeah, it was humming along, really. And then we decided to go over the document and make some changes. So in the middle. So either way, it's an R&R. So once I get it back, it should be in the process to be out in, I don't know, within a month once we get it back. So that's where that one's at.
We are working on residential scaffolds, and after talking with or listening to some of the Canadian councils and that's a virtual document that would be really good to have and maybe joint effort. So if you guys are interested in working on that together. Then we have materials management, a rope and pulley course that Dave Johnson's working on.
Yeah, we've got a real good draft of that. Bob Gibson with Sunbelt, we've like a meeting of the minds. We both had the same problem at the same time. Kind of came up with a lot of the same content. So we're hoping to have that out by committee week.
And we have cantilevered scaffolds that we're working on. And then another one that we're doing joint with the Plank and Platform Council, 10 top scaffold misconceptions. So that's all the things that are on our plate right now. If you guys know of any other subjects or topics that we need to be working on, please get a hold of us. And if you want to help, we have our monthly meetings. It is the third Thursday of every month at 11 o'clock my time, but I don't know what, 9 a.m. California time. So yeah, please join us. We'd love to have you and your input. Thanks.
Thank you. Next is Harold Giddish with the Suspended Scaffold Council.
Good morning, everyone. The Suspended Scaffold Council is working on a few things. One of the major items we're working on is an understanding of the new procedures for the NICO press fitting, which is a termination for wire ropes that people have been using for a lot longer than I can remember, even I. But we have come up with a new, NICO press has come up with a new procedure that we are going to be working with them for a committee week. So hopefully we'll have more information available for everybody. And we're also working on updating our daily check sheet, which had a couple of errors in it that needed to be fixed. And short of that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Harold. Steve Smith has.
Thank you. Just sorry, one other thing just wanted to add from the review and regulatory, that we did complete the review of the online hazard awareness program, and that is available for sale now. So please go back to your companies and let them know that this is now available. It's an online program, and just to say, look at it through the website or check with Jackie if you'd like more information on that. But that is available and ready for presentation to all the people out there to learn about the hazards of the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. That concludes the council and committee updates. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, if there aren't any questions, then we will adjourn.